single day I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
Hello my Dotty family, and welcome back to part 4 of this mandala butterfly design. If you are brand new to my channel, please go and check out the fundamentals playlist first to get you started and do some beginners videos. And then you can come back and try the intermediate ones. And if you're only joining us now, you can go and have a look at part 1 of this playlist. Okay, so next we're going to start dotting on the bottom wings. I'm going to use color number 6, and with my 3mm tool, I'm going to make a dot as close in there as I can possibly get. So to me, it's just under that straight line over there. I'm going to do the same on this side, so just under the straight line. And then I'm quickly going to grab my green tool, the big ball side, and just add about 2 more to walk the dog in there, just so I can fill up that little space so it runs down in size. Next, we're going to grab the 6mm tool, and sticking to color number 6, we're going to do same thing on the other side, and then a 9mm dot, same color. I'm going to add it there, so it looks like in relation to my circle, it's going just over. So we're going to add some extra guidelines now. And if you look at this big dot here, I'm going to just draw a line from that up. And the same thing from this side, so just up. And I'm going to create a little border here. Try and keep the thickness more or less the same. Okay, as soon as we dot there, we're going to fill it out anyway, and if you go a little bit over, it's fine. But try and get it around about equal, like something like that. And then the same thing on the other side. So from there, draw up, and this one as well. Okay, now we're going to make some swooshes. If you do not have a nozzle bottle like this, then what you can do is add paint with one of your tools, like a lot of paint on the one. So you're just going to dip your tool, load paint, dip tool, load paint, and until you have enough that you can work with. Nozzle bottles are the best. If you have the needle points, that will also work. We're going to plan for 1 dot here, so let's just see, that's 1. The other one can be on the lines here, and then we're going to do 2 more in between. I want to get into that little nook and cranny, so kind of space them out a little bit. I'm just trying to see where they're going to fall, like that, but you'll see as we do them. So the first one I'm going to do is the color number 5, and straight out of the bottle I'm going to add quite a bit of paint on there, and then with my green tool, the big ball side, in the center of the blob, I'm going to push it down, and then I'm going to drag it on that straight line there. I'm going to do the other side as well. Quite a big blob. Press it down in the center of the blob, and then pull it all the way down like so. Then I'm going to grab color number 3, and I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do it on the sides. So in this little corner where we drew a little barrier line, I'm going to add quite a bit of paint, like so. And then the same thing, but I'm not going to drag it that way. I'm going to drag it into this corner here. So that. And then I'm just going to take my tool again and then just double drag it about there. Okay. I'm just going to take my oval side and just get it to squeeze in there like so. And do the same thing on the other side. Again in the middle of the blob, and then just drag it down and then double drag to about there, and then I switch to the other side to give me a thin ending on that side. Start double dragging. Then in color number 4, we're going to come back to the top here. And then do the same thing now, but we're going back to the blue circle here. I'm also just going to expand this one a little bit, so it's a bit closer to the center one. I just drag that like so, and then I'm just going to straighten the edges like that. I can even round it out a little bit more this side as well. So you're just basically painting with your ball tool. And before I do the other side, I quickly want to do color number 3 in here. I'll just use color number 2 here. So you want to be careful with your spacing here. So you can see I added a little bit less. I'm just pushing it up there so it can start a little bit higher. I'm going to push it down towards the blue dot and then just expand it a little bit. So same thing here, bring it down. Really, a cat hair? Oh no. And then just expand it on the sides a little bit, like so. Okay, now we can do the other side. So while this is still wet, I'm actually going to expand this into this little section here, and the same with this one here. As I see, there's still a little bit of space available, so I might as well make use of it. There we go. Then in color number 1, with the all ball side, we're going to put a little frame. So this frame we did here, we're going to dot on that. So starting next to that little petal there. And the same thing on the other side. Then in color number 6, I'm going to do another frame around it. So super cool mode. Then I want to finish off this layer with another layer, and I'm going to use the big ball side of my green tool, and I'm going to start my first dot on the straight line like so. Then I'm going to move over to color number 1, and with color number 1 I'm going to make a dot on each side, and the same for this side here. And then I'm going to move on to color number 2. So at color number 2 I'm going to do the same, and then that's what I'm going to do until I complete the whole outside border of this wing. I'm not going to go back to white. I'm just going to cycle from 1 to all the way down to 6, and then from 6 I'm going to go back to 5, 4. So I'm just reversing it then back down. So typical mode. Okay, so this has dried overnight, and what I saw when I sent a friend a picture is that these little swishes here, they are a little bit thin, so I just want to make them a bit thicker. So if you have this problem, don't mess with it while it's drying, because you can only swish it while it is wet. As soon as it starts getting a little bit drier, it's going to start causing little lumps and pieces of the pieces that have dried up, and you don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the color, which is again color 5. So I'm going to take one of my really, really tiny brushes, this one here, and I'm going to paint this in. So I'm going to go in like that, and then just make sure that it curves so it looks like it came with the original swoosh. And then the same thing on the other side. You know, that's the thing about adjustments. Sometimes you make an adjustment and then you have to go and re-adjust it again afterwards, but that's okay. And then you also have to cover the swoosh itself so that the paint blends in as a brand new layer, so it looks nice and even. Okay. Put the paint on quite thick because the swooshes that we worked with is quite thick. So you want that to be quite thick. I think I can expand this side slightly more. Right, and then I want to do the other side as well. Kitty hair again. Oh my goodness. They are everywhere. Everywhere, but I love them to bits. Hair and all. That's the thing about this art. There are no mistakes. There are only adjustments. Now we're going to get started on the top wings. Okay, so my 13mm is not big enough because I want a big eye in the corner right there. So I've gone around the house and I've found some other items that I can use. So some of them you can also find is, just like a tip, is go into your medicine cupboard or your bathroom cupboard and you will find a lot of things. So obviously I didn't find that there, but you can also in the kitchen. So I found like a little a cap, so a fizzy drink cap, which I think is going to make a pretty beautiful big dot right there. And then some other suggestions I can also give you is some essential oil bottles will also work really well. So I wish these companies would sponsor me, but anyway. Okay, so some essential oil bottles, and they also come in different sizes. So this one is about the size of the stony cap. So if I look at it from there, that can also actually do as a nice size. The lid itself is a completely different size. So, and then you can see from here, they also go down. Well, these two are exactly the same. But if I use the lid for one, let's see. Okay, no, that's also the same size. But that's fine. That's okay. Because the 13mm is going to be next in line. So I've got the stony cap, okay, which I'm going to use. Then I'm going to use this bottle here, the center one. And then I'm going to use my 13mm. So I'm going 2 sizes bigger in order to get my eye here. If you have looked everywhere around the house and you can't find anything, not even in the messy drawer in your kitchen, then I suggest you can always draw it. Okay, so then you're going to use your compass. And the size I want is 30 mils in total. So we need to draw a circle then that's about that size. So if you go to 1.5 centimeters, okay, and double that, that will give you a 30 mil dot. So the big size that I actually want in there. And then you can just paint it in with a paintbrush. So that's the other option if you don't have any dotting equipment. So there's always a way around it. So don't stress if you don't have anything. That's how you can also participate. So before we get started with those dots, I want you to connect these 2 points here. So just draw, you can even use a ruler if you want. You can draw like a straight line, like so. And same thing on this side. So should give us a rough plan. So we're going to divide these wings into 2 extra sections. So this is going to be a whole pattern, and then that's going to be a different pattern. So let's get this going. I'm going to use white as my base color. Okay, so I've got my little cap here. I just want to place it up there. Squash it down a bit. It gives me that nice circle, and then just, oh, it's stuck. There we go. And then I'm going to do the other side as well. So for this, you need quite a bit of paint, like a lot. Basically almost filling this little palette section. Okay, then I just want to quickly use my brush and flatten this because we're going to do quite a few dots on top here. Actually, I'm just going to pick up some of this paint and put it back. Okay, because we are going to be dotting over it, so I don't have to stress what it looks like in the center for now. Thank you so much for joining me for part 3 of this butterfly video. And then I will see you in the next part. Stay dotty, stay magical, keep well. Bye-bye.